Hi Granny, so I thought I would show you after I've done some cleaning up. This is my outside workstation. It needs a bit of cleaning up still, and this thing is going to be a cat castle. I'm building a castle for some cats. I'll send you some pictures when it's finished. Over here, I need to make it. I'm going to make a storage section for all of my sheet goods. All the 4x8 thing, and look here, I've got a notice on the door that says Weavies. And here now I just have to unlock the door. Straight as we go in, we have my table and a very loud compressor. So we'll just turn that off. So, what do we have over here? We've come in through the door, and straight next to us here we have the table saw. Above the table saw we have all the tools for the lathe that you gave me, and next to that we have all the bits of wood and 2 rubbers. And then, oh look, my charger's finished charging. And then I have some books on top of that. Next to the table saw, over here, we have a jointer thicknesser. I mean, it's slightly difficult to see what it is with the cable on top of it. That's its plug. And this is its vacuum. There we go. So what this does is it joints and thicknesses bits of wood. Over here you can see the blades. If I spin it, there we go. Actually, you can see that the blade is a little bit nicked. See those nicks? That's because I tried jointing something that actually had a bit of nails in, and that was my own mistake. But they're double-sided blades, and I'll flip them around, and I've got a new set that's on the way anyway. And over here I have my drill press with a scrap piece of wood underneath, of course, to allow me to drill. And then lots of drill pieces, drill bits. Then next to the drill press, I have this sander. It's a belt sander and a disc sander that I need to get a new belt for. Another, what do you call it? Underneath the belt sander, we have my Hegner, which just flips up into place. I'll show you that now. And then we have a welder. So let me show you the Hegner flipping into place. There we go. Now all we have to do is we remove these pins. We pull it out of the way. That's actually not locked in place at the moment, so need to be slightly careful. Then there we go. We lock it back into place, just like that. And now we have the Hegner on top and the sander on the bottom. Up here we have my homemade lathe. Was something that I started trying to turn, but it's really not very good because look at how much wiggle it has. On top of that, we have a special thing I made that makes box joints. It sits on top of my table saw and cuts joins like this. Over here we have a thing that holds one of my routers. The router's not in it at the moment. It copies. It's a copy router, so it can make things like this. And it can also make things like, for example, I just put a real spanner down. And there we go, it copied the spanner. Or it can make something like this instead. So yes, that's a very nice bit of a wooden contraption. Underneath that we have a drawer with miscellaneous tools. And we have a drawer specifically designated to Craig tools. And it's got some screws and some bits and bobs and 2 different jigs. And then we have a drawer with my mini lathe bits and bits for making pens. These 2 boxes have pen making bits. And then we have underneath that a box full of knives and axes and stuff like that. Then we have an empty drawer. And then over here we have the tool tower. In the bottom one is a hammer drill, and there is a hammer drill, sander, saber saw, multi-tool, and light with the one of the hoovers for the one that sits on the drill. Above that we have just a regular drill, an angle grinder, and a circular saw. And then on top of that here we have all of the different accessories for all of the stuff in those boxes. So I'll open this one, and look, you can see there's some blades for the saber saw and masks, and some ear plugs and some sandpaper and some drill bits and some blades for the angle grinder and some roll plugs and gloves and goggles and stuff. Up on the wall here, well, on the floor first of all, over here we have the tote, which has all the boxes, which has all the bits for the cleaning of using the big vacuum. We also have a dustpan and brush on the wall. Then we have 1 broken one, and then 3 non-broken welding masks. And we have 2 tracks, 1 long, 1 short, 1 medium, 1 short. I don't have any long for the track saw, which is you'll see in a minute, and then a few different levels, 1, 2, 3 different levels. Those 2 levels don't belong to me, I need to give them back. Then up here we have some cleaning supplies and some glue sticks and bits and bobs from tools and the clamps that you gave me. And then underneath that we have some pens and pencils, a knife, a piece of wood, a drill, a screwdriver, and some disposable gloves with a hammer, and some bits for a screwdriver. And what do we have in here? We have different types of glue. We have super glue, and we have epoxy. Then we have bits for the glue. Sits on top of this glue bottle. Very handy. Blades for different types of scrapers and knives. Charger. And yes, medical equipment. Then over here, look, this is the cast castle that I'm in the middle of building. And then over here we still have a little thing. We have the table. And on the table there's a few chargers. There is over here lots of sandpaper because I've not yet found a space to put them. We have over here lots of bits for the screwdrivers. Up here on the wall above it we have a thing to fill up tires, and we have a and we have a rip cut thing. And I just have to say, on the floor we have a Callie who's lost her toy under the tool, so I'm guessing we're going to have to move the tool. Callie, move. Has she lost her toy again? Nope, there it is. Here, I'll throw it for her. Okay, on the wall we have, let's see, we have a thing that sits on the circular saw that helps you do rip cuts. We have another thing that says Weeby on it. We have a big long ruler. We have a couple of clamps. We have some more clamps and some bench dogs and some drill bits. My first ever drill. So you remember this type of drill. We have a scraper, a 90-degree angle, and two more 90-degree angles. An engraver machine, a Dremel, which just is a rotary tool. A pocket hole jig, a couple of rasps, and a mask, and the light. Then over here next to the table, oh wait, before we get next to the table, under the table, we have my vacuum, my compressor, some more clamps, some goggles and masks, some gloves and ear protectors, another vacuum, another two vacuums actually, the big one and the small one, plus all the vacuum bits which are nicely set out in this box. And then we have some jigs down here and some actually in the back there. We've got a box full of old broken tools. And we've just got some paperwork down in these two drawers. Up here we have, here's our circular track saw, a plunge router, a sander, a router that can sit either in my router table or in either of the two jigs that I showed you all earlier. Then we've got a big angle grinder, some bits for the angle grinders, and a nail gun. Up top we have a jigsaw and the domino machine, the thing I used to put the banister together, and some edge banding. And on top of all that we've got some buckets of glue that are almost empty, and some hose pipes for the vacuums. Down here we have my router table, which is how I made your banister. And look, we've got bits for the router sitting in here. All nice and neat. And look in here, that's where the router is hiding. And then you got even more bits, all the bases for it. More bits for blades for it. And then more bits. For example, I'll show you here in this box, this pretty box here. This is the bit that I used to make your thingy, your banister. So that's where that is. And quite a nice box. Underneath it we have some dust control buckets with some very special things that you can put in before the vacuum that filters out the dust. Over here we have one of the first big tool I ever bought. It's my bandsaw. Almost everything here is on wheels. So you can either cut straight stuff with the saw, with this, or you can cut curved things, just like a scroll saw. Not quite, but almost. Then next to this, we have, in a little raised area over here, So far, I'm going to change this. This is my electronics station, and we have a 3D printer, which is currently not working, but I will get it working. And then lots of electronic bits and bobs. And some books, obviously. And then I've just got bits of wood thrown on top here, all the bits of wood that I've made in the past. Little bits of toys. Down here we've got some storage of some hardwood. We've got lots of oak over here. That's a big pile of oak. Here's another big pile of oak. And those are just bits of sticks. Then let's see what do we have on the... Over here we have just more big piles of wood. Up on the wall we have the ladder. And then a tile cutter. Above that, we have some wood storage. Actually, we have wood storage all the way around the top of the... Look, there's more. Then even more over there. So we have quite a bit of wood storage. Plus the wood storage, obviously, outside. Here's my miter saw. It's only temporarily on my Black & Decker because I've not got a stand for it. Because its stand for it is now turned into the electronics station for the moment. Above that we have some chisels and a first aid box with bits and bobs next to it, and screws of various different types, and a rasp, a machete because machetes are useful. Lots more screws, some sharpening stones up top there. Oh look, there's another... I must have forgotten to put that one back when I was putting something up earlier. Another spirit level and some clamps and lots of tape. Up there we have lots of empty boxes, because I keep empty boxes, and my fan which blows the dust out of the workshop. Up here we have a shelf full of all started projects. Then below that shelf we have lots of different hardware. So here we've got lots of different rails for drawers, and over here we have lots of different angles and door handles and stuff, and a box full of screws, and just lots more. Here I think in this one we have some bolts, if I can get it out with one hand. Here we have some brackets, a light bulb, some wheels, hinges, the likes. Down here we have a box full of plumbing, a box with a jackhammer, a box with a hand planer, another drill. Then we have some wood finishes and some stuff like that down here, and glues, oils, and wood filler and wax. Underneath that we have just some ropes and stuff. Then over here we have electronics, which is electricity. This is all with electricity wires that run within the walls, and some light bulbs and a fan. And then more stuff, wall fillers and stuff, and then just two toolboxes, one of them with all my hand tools and stuff that goes with me, another one with measuring equipment. And that's my whole workshop. And look, a nice tree outside.